I'm unsure if it's smarter to amplify the microphone before I record or after. You know, I think it's the same. I don't know, but I think it sounds way better. Yeah, I think it doesn't matter if I amplify it later, but whatever. I wanted to talk about something. You might have seen this. Ancient Apocalypse. You know, sort of like pretty cool title for a documentary. Basically, I mean, it's a sort of, yeah, it's a documentary. I think that counts. And it's this. Oh, did you hear that? Something popped up on my screen, but I don't think it made a sound. Anyway, so yeah, this Graham Hancock dude, maybe you know him, Graham Hancock. I already saw a lot of his lectures, and like he was on Joe Rogan a lot and stuff. And he's a really interesting. Actually, he got me to. I didn't know Joe Rogan before. I saw stuff on him, like a band TEDx talk. Think about that. He was banned from TEDx because he said something about DMT. That's what my next or one of my next videos is gonna be about. Somehow, like this advertisement stuff, or how is this, like, I'll get into it in the next one. But anyway, this documentary, Ancient Apocalypse, and I already knew most of it, and still it blew me away, because now recently a lot of his hypotheses and theories about stuff was, basically confirmed. Like it adds up. They constantly find new things that supports his theory, and without spoiling anything, he believes, and I think it's purely logical and rational to do so after you see the documentary or see some of his lectures or read some of his books, that humanity is really old, that it's way older than we think. I'm sure some teacher told you that once, that we're basically like this tiny, insignificant blip in the timeline of this planet. And I mean, in the timeline of this planet, yeah, we're still not like as. Okay, I'll get into it. I'll really dive into it. So, it started with, like, obviously, like the pyramids and stuff. Like, how were they constructed? They obviously they had to know something we don't, right? Because if you ask like modern architects or stonemason, like people in their field that know what they're talking about, they say, like, we, even with our modern technology and stuff, we can't cut a stone like that. We don't know how to do this. Or we don't know how to, like, I don't know how to transport this gigantic monolith and place it perfectly on this other monolith, and stack it sort of up in these like chambers that they built. They are inside the pyramids. Anyway, his hypothesis is that all of this knowledge came from somewhere and didn't just spark up like a little flare up and then it went away. That was knowledge transferred from way back earlier on. Like this is where Atlantis comes into the picture and stuff. And you maybe you roll your eyes now and oh my god, like, on what am I watching now? Like, this is a crazy dude talking about Atlantis. But think again, because they basically found Troy. They confirmed that the legends about Troy have some truth in it. How much we don't know, but that's basically the point, that he sort of got angry with how dismissive science or modern archaeologists were to dismiss these myths as just like stupid stories. They're just stupid stories. And he thought, no, maybe there's some truth in it. Yeah, maybe they got overblown at some point. Like, that's natural to happen in storytelling. recently found, that's actually newer than the documentary, I think. They recently found remains that indicated that humans, anatomically, like resembling us today, were cooking fish 700,000 years ago. That defies everything that we thought we knew about our ancestry, basically, our evolving minds and bodies. That's absolutely incredible. I mean, this alone, this fact alone, should, I think, move your consciousness just a little, at least a little. I know it does mine in a pretty big way, because I'm into this stuff. And I also believe that we're, consciousness and I mean, this belief that we are sort of like at the pinnacle now, and we are this small blip. It just doesn't add up at all. It doesn't add up. And a good way to play this out, like how can this happen? That we lose so much knowledge. I think it's very easy. It's very easy to imagine. I mean, and if you watch the documentary and get a grip on how big of a natural disaster it was that may have swept away, or that swept away these cultures, then think about if something like that happened today, and then, thousands of years later, a new civilization arises and takes out all the stuff we built. They wouldn't, think about it, they wouldn't understand it. They probably would downplay it. Like, they would have, like, some sort of new angle on technology, and they think, like, well, what is this? Like, this is sort of weird. They had this, like, everything was connected with these weird cables. What did they do? They produced lights, they would, step by step, they would get what this was doing. But think about how long it would take until they would figure out that we had, like, these hard drives, like that there was information on these hard drives, terabytes big, that could store imagery, video, audio, knowledge, basically, like gigantic libraries that they wouldn't be able to encode until they found out everything that we understood about the world. And how would they do that if so much knowledge was swept away and only the most resistant things of our culture would remain? And I don't even know if hard drives would be that, you know what I mean? I believe they knew something about consciousness, perhaps, that we lack today, or we sort of try to grasp again, but do so very clumsily, that's just my take on it, and I don't get why people are snarky at that. Like, I so many times I thought, like, okay, in this pyramid example, for example, I was asked, well, how do you think they built it? And I, went out on a limb and sort of like, yeah, maybe there was some sort of technology with sound, or is it that crazy to go and say maybe they figured something out with consciousness that could lift that stone, and then I lost them, But I think, hey, wait, hang on a second, I'm not saying I know this is what happened, but what makes you so sure that that is what didn't happen? What makes you so knowledgeable about our consciousness? What do you know about it that makes this impossible? And of course they don't have an answer. So I say, come up with stuff, feel yourself into the subject if you're interested. I think it's amazing. I think, and even if all of, like, no, actually, I can't think of just a purely a boring explanation, let's say, for this. It's, yeah, I think it's incredible. And I don't get why, like, a realist, just this one otherwise you're kind of like an ignorant fool in a way. You would repeat the mistakes and you would move into, blindly ahead. And I mean, if you watch the documentary and you come to believe that, okay, this big comet did all of this, like that's a theory. It's not really a spoiler, He explains what exactly and all the mechanics. But anyway, now we would have the ability to circumvent this, I think that's incredible. Sort of subconsciously, we developed towards a solution that a catastrophe like that never happens again. We're not there yet, but we will be soon if we get our shit together and concentrate, Then we can actually see the comet coming and we could deter it by sending up rockets there, It doesn't even have to be Bruce Willis, it can be a drone basically that attaches to the meteorite and just pushes it ever so slightly, just so that it zips past our heads and doesn't hit us. I think that's amazing technology, It's not like I don't want to downplay what we built here, but I sort of like this notion that, yeah, this is like the best we ever did. I think it's the best we ever did in one specific kind of area, but I think we miss so many others. And yeah, I like this just, it gets my mind going, I'm thinking, man, we're so deeply connected to this planet. We aren't this little blip, we aren't, I don't want to, you get into some very religious territory, and I don't want to annoy anyone by forcing my view on things, but yeah, I do believe that we are really deeply tied to this planet in some way. I think there's a good reason that we're here, like, I read this once in the Hermetica, or actually I don't remember, somehow I got to this through the Hermetica and alchemy and stuff, and I think it was the Hermetica that saw us humans as healers of the planet. I thought there was an interesting way to see humanity, even though, yeah, if you watch the news, it looks like the opposite right now. That's what I mean by we're kind of very stupid in a sort of way. We're very, very dumb in many other areas. And I think digging up our past can help with that. And it can help look into the future, and that in turn puts us in a conscious now, in a sort of mode of being, I don't want to, anyway, yeah, healers of the earth, isn't that interesting? And this sort of like plays into that thing with the meteorite. We can actually deter mass extinction on like a stupid scale with the things we built. Isn't that sort of proof that, yeah, we have the ability to actually help Earth big time, I'm not, why not? And yeah, you can say, well, let the meteorite hit and it will go its way and life will go, but why start over again from scratch? Isn't that sort of, if you're playing a video game, that would be a terrible sort of state of mind to start it, wouldn't it? Yeah, just whatever, it doesn't matter if I die, nothing makes sense, oh, this is boring, yeah, you're gonna get very far with that. Who knows what's ahead, Who knows what's in our past? It's so mysterious. It's so grand. I think it's beautiful. This subject, I realize, demands more parts, I'm gonna come back to it because I'm not. You noticed that I zigzagged around like crazy. I could talk about so many things. I could elaborate on so much. Like, the architecture alone, or also religious aspects. consciousness that, that was deeply understood. Because that's how it feels sometimes when I hear about these things. Like, it doesn't sound insane to me. It sounds like something that I forgot. That's what it was. That's what it feels like to me when I hear about get these monoliths and how they moved it, and then someone, I think, sound, vibration, something with that. Isn't that? I mean, that's what this video is too. And oh my God, I'm losing it. I'm losing it. No, but that's what I basically mean by this, like the knowledge about this past. That, I mean, to me personally, it does a lot. It really sparks a lot of, again, stuff that I already sort of felt that is now gets confirmed. Like, I knew that's not everything. I knew this wasn't, like, we aren't this blip, this dumb, stupid blip. I mean, we're pretty dumb and stupid, but we're also pretty amazing at stuff, and we can be more amazing at stuff, I think. If we connect the stuff from the past, you get the idea. And make it, and not be afraid to make it anew, or, oh my God, it's so incredible. There's so much coming to my mind. But, yeah, it feels like I'm switching subjects a lot. So, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna end the video, and I'm gonna switch subjects. So see you in the next subject.